Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and please hit the like button and share my videos. It really helps my channel along. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 7,300 and change. But please like my videos and pass it along. And I love comments, so add your comments if you've got any comments to add. Today I've finished the mistake I made on the Waltham watch. It's a very beautiful watch. Let me bring that in for a second. The gentleman's going to pick it up today. Here it is. Here it is running, and it's running really well right now. I clocked it at -5 seconds per day, but it kind of goes up and down around that because these Russian movements aren't super accurate, but they're pretty good. So this is the Waltham Amphibia watch, and it is Russian. It's from the Waltham or Pocket Watch Company. I think Bottok, Boktok, Boktok, something like that. And Marion is a website that sells these. It's a shame about the conflict that's going on right now, and I'm sure the watchmakers don't agree with any of it. Anyway, so not to be political, I fixed the watch. The big problem I told you about was that I got it all working perfectly. I bird's nest the hairspring because it was kind of a little bit of a mess. I got it nicely reshaped and coiled. The amplitude on this baby is around 300 right now. I just put it on the machine. It was actually 325, which is ridiculously too high. So I think it's probably running around between 250 and 300. So great amplitude for an automatic watch. And as I said, I had to take the mainspring out of the barrel, and I had to put braking grease on the barrel because the mainspring has got a fork on the end like this that rubs against the barrel, and the fork pushes out. And so it wraps around this way, and as you wind the watch, the fork is sliding along the barrel but putting pressure on the barrel, which prevents that part of the mainspring to slip. It slips a little bit, so you can't overwind an automatic watch. They'll all slip a little bit, so bear that in mind. When people say a watch is overwound, it's not possible. If it's a pocket watch, you can wind it to its end. If it's got a T-end attached to the barrel, for example, a T-end is keeping that end of that barrel in place. But as a watch is being wound, the mainspring is grabbing the barrel arbor in the center, and more of the mainspring is around that barrel arbor, and less of it is around the wall of the watch, if I could say it that way. Because when you start off, most of the mainspring is around the wall until you actually wind the watch up and it goes around the arbor. So, and they kind of all have different pocket watches. They kind of all have different ends. There's T-ends, there's hook ends, there's all kinds of different ends you got to deal with. Watches that are typically automatic watches nowadays usually have that little snake tooth thing or snake tongue thing, and it rubs around the barrel like this, so it keeps it in place. So that's I did grease this barrel, put braking grease on the barrel, and I ran it overnight. It ran all the way from yesterday around 5 o'clock till tonight around 4, no problem, 24 hours of wind left in it, which is plenty good. And you're wearing this watch, and it's got a rotor in there that spins around, and so it's all good. It's in good condition right now. And the problem was I put the hands on before aligning them to 12 o'clock with the date change, and then the gentleman said, hey, the date changes at 6:30. What the heck's going on here? So I thought, oh my, what did I do wrong here? And I realized, oh yeah, I forgot to change the date around with the crown, the date change at 12 o'clock, and then put the hands back on. So I just completed that job, put the hands back on, and align the hands up so they're not touching each other. That's a tough job. So that's what I just did. So that's a chat about that. Now I've got a very nice old pocket watch that I received on Sunday. So this is an old Waltham. So it's a Waltham Pocket Watch. I believe it's a 15 jewel pocket watch. Let's open this up and have a quick look. It came in a beautiful strong mints case. You got to have one of those strong mints cases if you're anybody, right? I also got a huge bag of finger cots today, which I'm going to use. Thanks a lot to a gentleman online who told me where the heck to get these. So the first thing I'm going to do with this watch, I noticed right away as you're trying to wind it, this thing just spins around and nothing happens, right? I should trim this fingernail, although I love it, or the thumbnail. I love it for getting underneath the dust caps on pocket watches. So trim it or not trim it. So let me just move the camera a little closer. See, if I had a professional doing all my camera work, I'd just be changing scenes right now like everyone else does. Someday I'll be a little more professional. For now, I'll be more homey, okay? So I noticed this wasn't moving at all. And then when I pressed in on the crown like this, I'm able to wind the watch. So usually what that is on the watch is the stem goes into a sleeve, right, that's inside the crown. And that crown sleeve usually needs to be adjusted in or out. And that crown sleeve will allow the crown to be a little bit deeper. As you can see, there's a small gap there as I push it in like that. So it'll allow that to be a bit deeper, which will allow it to engage the mechanism that flips this over from a time setting to a winding mechanism. Now this watch is running, but the amplitude is not that great. I have not demagnetized it yet. I have not done anything with it really. You're just looking at it for the first time. And it's a very nice old Waltham 15 jewel. It's, I believe it was from 1927. I think that's what I read. I'm trying to get the words right here. Right? There we go. Waltham 15 jewel, 1927. And if you want to look it up, you can look it up. A few pocket watch people out there know where to go. 207-87105. So it's not a railroad grade watch. As you can see, these would likely be jeweled. It would be a 21 jewel pocket watch, likely to be railroad grade. I have seen some that were 19 jewels railroad grade from the very beginning of the Ball Company defining what a railroad grade watch was. But this is not a railroad grade watch for sure. It's a pretty old watch, and the case is a very nice case. It doesn't say what the what it says gold filled, but it doesn't say how many. If I look at the case here, gold filled, but it's not saying it's a Guinness case, a Genius case. It's a Peerless case. Peerless Watch Company, American Watch Company, gold filled, and it says Peerless in there, right? P-E-R-L-E-S. That's like the lathes, the Peerless lathes. And it's had a few servicings, as you can see. I'm looking down on the service marks, and I can see a servicing right here. That's where the service person did the work on the watch. And I see a servicing right up here as well, a little number in there. And I see a servicing right here. And so that's 3 servicings in just under 100 years. Not too good. You can also see something else. So you see this? Fingerprints. So the watchmaker who did that did like and put fingerprints all over the watch. I wear a glove, and my glove usually is looks like this, like that. It's one of these gloves here. It's inside out right now. And you often see me, I call it Bugs Bunnying the glove, because anybody who remembers the old Bugs Bunny show where he was gambling and he went, "Hey Doc, whoever has the biggest hand wins," and he went like this, and the hands blew out, and that's Bugs Bunnying the glove. Anyway, my humor is really bad. This is why I don't get all the views I should get. I should be a little bit more professional on this channel of mine, right? Anyway, this looks like the amplitude is not too good, but a quick way of checking the amplitude on this watch is to get the old slow-mo out on your phone. So you get your slow-mo on your phone like that, and you zoom in on the watch like that, and you go and you hit record. I can talk while I'm doing this, it does not matter. And you only have to record it for 3 or 4 seconds, because in slow motion it will, you'll see what happens here. There you go. There's the amplitude on the watch. I'd pick a point on the watch, and this thing is moving around 320 degrees, I think. So I pick one of the arms here, this arm here, and I watch it go around. I pick a point. There's the point. So so it is going 360 degrees, which isn't too bad, but can I make this go a little bit better? Can I get better than 360? And I'm not sure of the of how far off it is from a rate or a beat error. I could test it right now and let you know. Should I do that? Should I not do that? Yeah, I think I'll do that. All right, I'm holding this in my hand. You can see I've got one of the watches in the window charging up and a deck of cards. So it looks like the amplitude is 124, which would be 124 times 2 for the swing, It's 151 seconds a day, running fast. The beat error is 4.9. Now, I may have 52, might be the wrong number for this watch, but it's running at 1800 beats per minute, and 52 is probably close enough for now, just to do a quick look at it. But the rate is crazy high, so this needs a lot of work. And the beat error is also crazy high. So can I get this back in beat, and can I get the amplitude up beyond 200, maybe 250 if I'm lucky? This is what I want to do, clean this up. The trace looks okay. It's not super dirty, so I'm not looking at a snowstorm trace, which is nice. But the watch needs some work, obviously, right? So there it is there. Ticking away, folks, ticking away. All right, I did it. I checked out the baseline of this watch, and it's not so great. So it's got a low amplitude. It looked like it was 365 degrees, but is it getting worse now? I don't know. Let me have another look at this thing, because I don't trust it anymore. Put it in slow-mo again. Zoom in. I got zoom in, slow motion on the iPhone, and just click go. Have a quick look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then look what the swing looks like. And the swing is worse than it was before. Look at that. That is pathetic. So just moving it up to the time grapher and moving it back caused the swing to change. What's that all about? So this watch needs cleaning really bad. So it seems like it doesn't like to be moved, which is not good for a pocket watch. So that's this pocket watch anyway. So other than that, I think the case, the actual threads around the case need cleaning, because this is a hard back to put on. Just some advice when you're putting the back onto a watch. The good thing to do, I speak English here. So the thing you want to do, let me move the camera back a bit. The thing you want to do is you want to screw it in a bit, and then you want to check the edges to see if one edge is higher than the other. So if I'm screwing it in like this, is it going in nicely, or is it causing a problem? So this is going in nicely. So it's still a bit stiff, but I can tell by the front and back, the gaps, that there's no gap now. So it's actually perfect. So it's gone in perfectly. If you're tight on the front and loose on the back, meaning you got a tight, no gap, and then a gap here, then you're going to cross thread the case, and that is not a good thing. So never force the case closed. You'll cross thread it and ruin the case, and then you've got bigger problems with a cross threaded case. So don't do that. This watch, as I said before, I can wind it by pushing down here, and as you can see, the subdial second hand works. And subdial second, it's a sunken subdial second, meaning the subdial that's soldered into the actual face is at another level, at a different level. The hands look really nice on this watch. Now, can I set the watch? Like I said before, the way I open the crown on a watch is not by pulling it like that, right? I should really cut this thumbnail. It's disgustingly long. My wife will tell me this very soon, trust me. So instead of pulling it like this, which could actually dislodge the watch this way, or you could end up slipping and ruining the crown or doing something like that, I hold the watch like this in this hand, put my other hand over the top of it, and then I use the body of the watch to push away from the crown as I'm holding the crown. So I do this, and then you just heard the click, and then the crown clicks. It is a really good controlled way of actually setting the time, or pulling the crown out. So it's a very nice controlled way of doing it. And you can push it in with the side of your thumb as well. But to take it out, you hold the watch like this. You put this hand over the top and grab the crown, and then you push back the movement. Just hold the case like this, and just push back like this, ever so slightly, and nothing happens. There we go. So that's a super controlled way of actually doing that. So now the good thing about this watch is I actually don't have to worry about the date. And as I said in an earlier video, back in the day when people had pocket watches, they knew what the date was. For some reason, they'd look at a calendar. They had calendars on the wall. They'd look up at the calendar and go, oh, it's the 15th today. Oh my goodness. Instead, they put dates on watches for people that don't have homes. When they had pocket watches, people had homes with calendars. Now they don't have calendars on the walls, so they pick up their iPhone. And their iPhone is, in fact, iPhone or Android phone has everything on it. You can tell the time. You can do everything on it. You can do all kinds of crap on it. So I also have an Apple. I'm wearing two watches today. So I have an Apple Watch. There we go. The barometer's at 98.99, which means my hip hurts. So that's my hip. That's my hipometer, 98.99. So when it gets up to 101, my hip will feel better. It's amazing. I'm a walking barometer. Now, Granny on Beverly Hillbillies, she'd actually drink some rheumatism medicine, and that would also cure your hip, but that's not good because it's also going to do some bad stuff to your liver. So I don't use any rheumatism medicine. Now, this watch here, I'll show you the other watch I've got running today as part of this chatathon, is a Citizen Eco Drive World Chronographer WR 200. What's the WR stand for? Anyway, it's a Binford 200. Blue Angels. Radio controlled. See that right there over there? Radio controlled, which means if I press this button on the watch, it tells me that the radio control happened. It's okay. Which means the time is exactly the right time. And if I press the button and hold it down even further, it goes into the RX mode on the corner here. So somebody complained the other day that I was getting my fingers in the way. So it goes into, where's the RX mode? Right there. This will go to the RX mode, which is asking this watch to go to Dayton, Ohio and figure out what time it is. That's the RX mode. So in the back of this watch is gorgeous. It's a little bit dirty right now, but it's a Blue Angel watch, Citizen Blue Angels AT. Good for 200 meters for diving, although you wouldn't dive with it. I wouldn't. I love the strap. Genuine leather. It's yellow on the inside of the strap. Citizen's 23 is the width of that strap, like that, and it's just a gorgeous strap too. So this is a really nice watch. And I got this watch, and you've seen my other watch. I'll reach up here because you saw it while I was doing the time grapher. I keep this one in the sun because both of these are solar. This is also, don't touch it, solar watch. Don't have to do anything with it. This here monster, if you compare it to this one here, it's a monster. And this is the Citizen Dive Watch. So Eco Drive Pro Diver, 200 meters at least, and it's got a really cool, see, this is detecting water pressure here, and this is detecting the fact that you're in water. And so, like I said once before, if you hold your finger over that, it thinks you're in the water, and it should move that second hand. Am I gonna lick my finger or something? What's going on? A little moisture. There you go. It worked. So I was almost a liar, so it worked. So I got my Jean-Jacques Chalac toque on today. I got Tabarouette. There we go, turn it off. I could speak like a French guy and talk about the watches and say, you know, you got the watches with the pocket, and you got the watches without the pocket that goes around the wrist in a circle. There you go. But I'm not going to do that. So these are my watches I was wearing today. I'm not wearing this one. I'm just putting it in the sun so I can get a little bit of solar energy, and I don't want it to go in sleep mode. So that's this pocket watch, this Waltham. I'll be likely repairing this tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to have to adjust the depth of the stem as it moves in, which is shouldn't be too bad to do. I got to remove the stem then, which is a little trickier, but then I've got to actually clean the watch. So I'll clean the watch first, take it apart, clean it, service it properly, make sure it's running well, do all that first, and then I'll deal with the stem issue. So that's it. So I'm JD again. This is my Airy lens, ARY flip over lens. It costs a ton of money, but it's the best one you can get for watch repair. So I really thank you for watching my channel. I hear that if you watch my videos right till the end, that I get more kudos for that. So I'll see you later. Keep watching for my videos. I will do a live video, and we'll take apart a watch together, and you can ask me all kinds of questions while I'm taking a watch. So my tweezer will slip into the hairspring. Not a good move. See you later, and stay safe.